Today, there are roughly 370 million people who speak Arabic as their mother tongue, and that is less than 5% of the total world population today. So how is it possible that the Quran, which is only in Arabic, can be considered a miracle for those who can't speak Arabic? How is that fair, and why would they be convinced that this is indeed a miracle? Well, first of all, messengers are given miracles that challenge the thing that their people are excelling at, since they would be the ones to really understand and appreciate the miracle. So, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, having been sent among the Arabs, who were distinguished by their great eloquence and beautiful style in speech, Allah made the miracle of the Prophet, peace be upon him, of the same nature by which his people were distinguished. Same thing can be said about Musa, peace be upon him, who was sent among those who were good at sorcery, and therefore his miracle was turning his staff into a snake, challenging them in their game. And Isa, peace be upon him, who was sent among those who were good at medicine, relative to their time, of course. So his miracle was curing people and bringing them back from the dead. So, the Quran being revealed in Arabic is the most logical thing it can be, since it was revealed among people who excelled at using Arabic and challenged them in it. But now is the question, how can we compare an observable miracle like that of Musa and Isa to a more abstract one like the Quran and its linguistic miracle? Well, let's take the miracle of Musa, peace be upon him, as our example here. All of Musa's miracles could be observed and seen by anyone, but they will not be fully understood and appreciated except by those who are well established in sorcery. Why? Because average people would see and still think that this is just a magic trick like any other, but sorcerers are the only ones who can fully realize the extent of the miracle. And that's why they were the first to believe that Musa, peace be upon him, was a real messenger from Allah. It would be then logical for the average person to think if the sorcerers themselves couldn't stand up against Musa's miracle and they believed in him, it would then only make sense to believe that Musa is indeed a messenger, even if you don't know the exact details of what he had done, since the people of knowledge have already given him credit. And the same applies to the miracles of Isa, peace be upon him, and doctors at his time. So just like the miracles of Musa and Isa are primarily directed towards the people who have knowledge in that field, the Quran is also challenging those who are most knowledgeable, most eloquent at Arabic. So naturally, not any average Arab or anyone who doesn't know Arabic. It would then make sense if you see that the most competent fail to rise to the challenge for centuries, that you would start thinking that this is not a normal feat. It is like you have invited 100 of the strongest bodybuilders in the world and asked them to try and lift a mystery box. All 100 of them tried and failed to lift that box. They then tried to lift it all together, and they still failed. And so they all said, it is too heavy to even move, let alone to lift it up. Would you then think that this box is light or heavy? The logical thing here is that you wouldn't need to lift and carry the box yourself to believe that it is indeed too heavy, because those who have a better chance at it tried and failed. You can still go training and become the strongest man in the world, but it wouldn't change the fact. So the miracle challenges those who possess the knowledge, and then it is up to the average person to follow logic or not. And so, if the Quran challenged the most eloquent generation of Arabs who have existed, and not only them, but all humans and jinn to come up with a surah like the Quran, and after all these centuries, there is indeed none, then you don't have to be the most eloquent speaker to understand that this is indeed a miracle, and believing in it is really the only logical action to do. You can certainly learn Arabic and become eloquent, but that won't change the fact, since those who were better than anyone today at Arabic tried and failed. And now you might be thinking, well, I'm not about to blindly follow something because others have failed. And while this might not be the most logical stance, the Quran still provides an answer for this type of people. The Quran being the most unique, most powerful miracle there is, and actually the one that still exists today, it even has miracles within that anyone can understand and appreciate, even if you have zero knowledge of Arabic. And with any degree of logic, you can conclude that the Quran is indeed a divine book. So just to name a few, the historical miracles of the Quran, which are historical facts that were mentioned in the Quran, but not in any other book before it, which of course were later proven to be accurate pieces of information. The numerous scientific miracles of the Quran, which are scientific facts proven to be correct centuries afterwards. Added to that, the prophecies that the Quran made for events which hadn't happened yet, but later they all came to pass. And the fact that this book is the only book there is, after all this time, was not shown to contain a single mistake in it. And there are so many other aspects that don't require that you are eloquent at Arabic or that you speak Arabic at all. It is enough to realize them by reading an honest translation of the Quran in your own language. And the only logical action would then be to believe in this miracle, simply because it is the Book of Allah.